Crimes amongst gangsters never got reported. Nowadays the gangsters do crime and they record it. The game is fucked up cause the lines them got distorted. It all started when the snitches got glorified. When they ain't killed Alpo after Rich Porter died. They made a movie about Frank Lucas. I was mortified. Y'all niggas rode that wave like a water ride. So y'all decided that this fake shit was real. When snitches came home and y'all embracing them still. Ratting the G in the same place and they could chill after he violated the codes that should've got him killed. That's when I said chill, y'all can keep the game. There's no more rules, the players just ain't the same. Prices too high, they stepping all on the cane. Everybody playing, nobody don't know they lane. It's a shame, the center's running point. So-called killers is telling they running point. Niggas getting A1 felons for 1 point. They doing life, and they ain't even selling the whole joint. So what's the point? We dying in vain. Nigga, we dying, we just hiding the pain. Yeah, you already know what it is. Your boy MYSONNE, and you watching Hip Hop in the Raw.
The rap guy, the gangster guy, the activist. How did that happen?
It just...
Okay, hold. Let's do my favorite thing. You said that they try you go from Malcolm to Red again. Man down, everybody dead again. Explain and expound on that.
Well, I mean, the thing is this, I'm very humble, I'm very peaceful, and I'm very respectful. So as long as I'm giving that same respect and you're not doing anything to harm me or my loved ones, I don't have a problem with you. But if you put me in a position to where I gotta protect mine, then you are going to see a warrior. Because the same perseverance and the same relentlessness that I have in everything, I put that into when you make yourself an enemy of mine, and when I'm at war, then we at war. You know what I'm saying? So it's the conflict. It's just like, I mean, not the conflict. It's the balance between Malcolm X and Red. Like he said, be humble, be kind. But if someone tries to harm you, you take them out. That's the bottom line. So that's how I live my life.
The activist. So how did that come about? Because you know that's a whole different lane.
That's a different lane. It just. I always been like a conscious person. Like when you come from home beginnings, you have nothing, you see things differently. You understand what I'm saying? Like you aware. I used to look, and when I started to get something, I seen there was so much of us that didn't have nothing. You understand what I'm saying? Then when I got locked up for a crime I didn't commit, I got locked up for shit that had nothing to do with what I was doing in the streets. And then I understand that it's a bunch of us in prison like that. You know what I'm saying? Then you go up there with these crackers that treat you like you're not even human, you're a human being. And understanding that our whole society is built on racism and white supremacy. And it's not like some conspiracy theory, this is a fact. You know what I'm saying? They use this, the communities we live in are to house prisons and to fund the 1%. This shit ain't for you to design for you to get out. Projects, none of that shit designed for you to get out. We supposed to kill each other. They give you the worst food. They build all types of train stations and shit that's polluting you. You're supposed to die. That's the reality of what's going on. So when you start understanding that, then you're watching police killing us on camera. And then the Trayvon thing was the really thing that pushed me into the next level. I was out of town in Florida, and I was shooting a pilot for this web series that didn't actually come out, but we were shooting a scene out there, and it was the time when they were doing the Trayvon verdict. So I'm in my hotel room, and I'm watching Trayvon. I'm like, there's no way they're gonna let this man go. You know what I'm saying? So I'm sitting there watching it. I'm studying my part, and when they said this man wasn't guilty, I was crying like I was 5 years old. Like I was in my room, and I couldn't stop crying. Like my son at that point was 13 years old. So I was like, what am I gonna say to my son? Like how do you explain some shit like this? Like I didn't even understand. I wrote a piece called "What Do I Say to My Son?" And right there in like the next 30 minutes, like I was crying. I just like, nah, this some shit I gotta get out. I wrote it, you know what I'm saying? And then I ended up meeting my homegirl Tamika, who was working with Sharpton, and she was a part of the Justice League. So then when I met her and she seen that video, she was like, "Oh, I want you to introduce you to some people. This would be dope." And then right at the exact same time, the Eric Garner case happened. So probably 2 days after that, I was marching for the Eric Garner. We had over 100,000 people in the streets. And then I just felt like, yo, this is what I want to. Yeah, this is what I want to lend my voice to. Like, people listen, and if they listen, I want to be able to, put light and shed light to situations like this, and put us all in the same mind frame, understanding exactly what's going on.
All right. There's a flip side to that, right? You familiar with the counter pro?
Yeah.
You know what comes with that. And I've always been mindful of the person that takes the point and carries the sword usually be the first
I'm aware
to kill or die. But we talking fact. I ain't talking no mythical bullshit. And with so much insight and so much power that I see in you, and I have to go back to the freestyle only because I know what it did for me. I told you, I hit you right after I saw it because it gave me goosebumps. And I sent it to Kev, and I sent it to everybody I know. But what my sister is a square, and I sent it to her, and she got it. And then we seen each other, and you was like, "Yeah, it's like 8 million in 4 days." And I started saying, "It ain't 8 million of us, our kind." So I said, "Damn, something is happening here." Are you ready for that?
I think God gives you your purpose, man. I don't think Malcolm wanted to die. I don't think Martin wanted to die. But through their death, something was accomplished. You know what I'm saying? Or during the time that they're here, they put in the work. Everybody has a purpose. Sometimes your purpose is just to say something to him that he says to somebody else that affects the whole world.
Yeah.
And my friend's daughter died when she was 16 years old, right? And she went to Africa. She was there building a school. She went there to help them build a school. And while she was on this trip, she drowned in the pool. This happened last year. And I used to just sit there and be like, what the hell happened? Like, she was a beautiful girl. You know what I'm saying? And now Africa, they built the school. They got whole wings named after her. Like, what she did is going to carry on and affect a lot more people's lives than her. That was her purpose. She came here. God sent her as an angel to leave here at 16 years old. You know, so we can sit there and mourn her death, but you got to mourn what she accomplished and how what she did is going to live on. So my thing is, there's a bunch of people that's going to live longer than Malcolm X and Martin Luther King, but they're not going to have nowhere near the impact that they've had on the world. So if I'm able to impact in 1% of what those people did, and whatever comes with that, then that's what my purpose is.
Well, again, I just posed a question because we got the gloves off. We ain't playing no games, you know what I'm saying? And
as you should.
Because what I want the listeners and the audience to realize and to understand is that when you step into these shoes, there's things that come with this. There's a certain level of maturity, and there's a toll of responsibility and accountability that comes with that. We go back again to that mindset of you speaking with forked tongues and you using the word nigga because that dude didn't get it. But there'll be a lot of people that'll think like that. But I got it immediately because I know in order for you to get the corrupted souls, you have to be able to speak their language and to be able to identify with them. You can't really go there and use words like
but
liquation.
I'm not no better. I am them.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying?
But
that's what I try to tell people. Don't use the word nigga. Yeah, because that's our vernacular. I'm not going to use a word that's comfortable for you when I'm not trying to save you. You already know something. These people need saving. I need to speak directly to the core of the people who are in danger.
The corrupted souls.
So you worried about the language I'm using. I'm worried about the lives that I'm saving.
Right.
We on two different planes. So if that's all you can focus on, then that's up to you. That's your play. You got to deal with that, not me. I know what I'm doing.
Now, I just wanted you to actually speak about that because
I speak about it all the time. I tell people all the time. My Justice League people, they be like, "Hey, you use the word nigga." I said, and I'm gonna keep using it until I don't feel that. Until we evolve, until the people I'm speaking to evolve past that, and then we evolve together. Then cool. But right now, that's the vernacular that they speak. They not where you at. DJ Self told me it was funny. I know Self for years, right? So we in Aces, and this is right after. I forgot what it was, either the Women's March or something. I think it's probably the Women's March, where I spoke at the Women's March. So he's like, "What are you doing here?" I said, "What are you doing here?"
At the Women's March?
No, at Aces. I said, "What are you doing here?" He said, "I'm saying you ain't supposed to." I said, "Why? I'm just like you. Because I don't want to see people oppressed, and I don't want to see other people die, and I want us to grow. That means I'm not going to go out and have a good time. I never subscribed to being a preacher.
Right.
So what do you like? I need you to understand. Like, I'm not. This ain't your mother's civil rights movement. It ain't. You're not gonna see me in a 3-piece and all that. I'm gonna speak to the vein of the people that I want to save, and I still want you to have a good time. After you, while you building, you should be able to enjoy yourself. Go out, have a good time. I'm not telling you to be a preacher, stay home. No, that's not my message. So if that's what you got for what I was saying, then you completely missed the whole point. You know what I'm saying? That's why a lot of us don't engage in the movement, because we think that's what it is. It's this goody two shoes, you gotta be the straight. Well, nah, it ain't about that. It's about us. We understanding where we come from, and we utilizing all of our voices, all of our influence, all of our materials, everything to get out of that situation. And in the process, you're not supposed to be a square. I'm not a square. I like to have fun. I go to the clubs. You know, I'm never gonna tell you not to enjoy yourself. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That's why I don't subscribe to religion.
And then it becomes phony too, because
because
when
it's
you
not
tell
real.
a person that, then
and
they
we
see the
lose
strip
all the
club.
soldiers, because the soldiers want to come out, but they just don't want. They think that you got to be this goody two shoes to be engaged in things that's going to liberate all of our people, and that's not real. That don't even make sense. You know what I'm saying? And that's why we've lost, because we speculate who's supposed to be in the movement. You got to look like this to be involved in the movement. Nah, the white people that you fighting against, everybody's involved. They ain't saying you got to be this religion, that. They all working together. Okay, you got my interest. I don't care what you do. We all got the same interest. We going in together. That's what happened. That's why Trump is in office. Because they didn't give. They said, look, listen. The Republican Party looked and said, look, we got an agenda. This the person that's gonna get our agenda. I don't care if you like what he say, how he look, none of that. We all putting all our resources together, and we gonna get that man elected. We worry about the rest of this shit later, but we can't let them beat us. And we don't think like that. We all got, he move like this, he say this word, he dress like this. They support, like, I'd be like, yo, that's why we not winning, because everybody's worried about the differences instead of understanding how do we intersect, because we got the same goal and the same purpose.
The same agenda. Let's lighten it up a bit.
No, wait, I have a question.
Oh, I'm sorry.
What do you see as the next step? What are you trying to achieve? What would you like to see us as a community start to do?
I think the next step has to be financial empowerment. I think that's what it comes down to. Like, you can't you can't change legislation if you don't have any power. You got to talk from a position of power. You know what I'm saying? And we keep talking from a position where we don't have no power, so we don't even matter to the people who make the laws. We don't have enough money or resources or anything to really change the laws. So unless we come out in astronomical numbers, they don't even listen to us. But what happens is, when we start to own our communities, and then we start to build financial, and then we start to say, okay, we got all of this, we got these finances, and we got 1 million people that's gonna do what we say at the same time. Now we come up from a position of power. Now we don't gotta ask. We can create our own situation. We create everything our own. We can separate. That's what the Jews do. The Jews they dictate what goes on in their own, independent of anything that goes on in America. And I think that's what we have to do as a people. We got to start educating our people about financial, creating intergenerational wealth, to where you don't have to do things just to survive. When I know that, you know, a lot of white people don't have the same. They have trust funds. They set up. They grow. They come out, make 1 million mistakes, and still got $2 million when they turn 21. We don't have that reality. You know what I'm saying? So we can't really dictate nothing. So when we start financially educating each other, and we start owning our blocks, we start the projects, and we own everything around the project, and we start make the projects into something that's different. It's thousands of people in the projects. If all of y'all invested $100 and started buying one property at a time, we don't got to stop at none of these stores. You not from here, you don't live here, we not shopping in none of it. We boycotting every store till we own the block. Now we hiring our own in our blocks, and we own everything. If we continue to do that, we are the majority. If we continue to do that, that's when we're gonna make real change. So that's what we got to start doing. We got to financially start making ourselves literate.
Particularly when we spend 500 million, billion as consumers.
No, we are 1.3 trillion.
Black folks, that's great.
What can the average person do to start being woke? I'm just the average person. What can I do to start contributing to the movement?
Well, I think average person is you got to find your intersection. You got to find out what it is that you're able to do. You know what I'm saying? Whether you have a voice, whether you have education in certain fields, you got to figure out what can I lend to the movement. What is it that I do good that I can say, okay, this organization right here represents something I can do. I know this amount of people. I can bring these amount of people to somewhere to where they can be educated, or I can educate these amount of people in what I know in this area. You know what I'm saying? We just gotta find. It's so many of us. We do everything. You know what I'm saying? Like I just be sitting there looking like, if we had Oprah, Jordan, and all these people sat down and decided that they wanted to change the culture of they could do it. That's not their goal. You understand what I'm saying? So we gotta stop putting people in power that don't have our agenda.
Wow,
you know, they don't have our best interest in hand. We keep empowering people that's worried about how much money they gonna make. You understand what I'm saying? I can't be comfortable that I'm from Highbridge and I know that I leave Highbridge and 95% of the people that I grew up with don't have nothing. Like, how would I be comfortable with that? I put myself in a position to where I'm a multi-millionaire and I have not come back to create any type of opportunities for all the people that go through the same thing I go through. Like, how do you be comfortable in that?